in the back room looks better. Morning.
So.
Yeah, we're starting. How are you feeling? Okay. All right, ASAP. Bye-bye.
What's that? Oh, they told me to try something, so we'll find out in a bit. Yeah, and we don't touch those.
Oh, I'm sure you don't.
Unless they put
Yes.
one stage. It's not here.
You'll just.
I didn't bring it.
Okay, that's a problem. Of course, you'll be a part of practice.
All right, so if everyone can take a seat, I'm going to call the docket. I believe is this Wednesday?
That's Wednesday, yes.
No, I mean, it's today, Wednesday. Yeah. I say that because I was stuck in Florence, Italy. My flight didn't got canceled. They were having a strike and they had a strike just for 2 hours. And they picked the 2 hours I was supposed to be back. So everyone, so these are the rules of the court. So everyone, please listen carefully to the rules of this court. As everyone knows, there's an uptick in COVID. Everybody, I'm sure, has some family member who currently has COVID or has had COVID in the past. So there are things that I want to accomplish to make sure that we are as safe as possible in this courtroom. So here's the first rule. Attorneys, when you wish to speak to one of the prosecutors to confer, please just grab your file from the box and just leave it with them and then take your seat. They'll call you back and they're going to proceed in the order in which they receive the file. When you want to approach the court, again, go to the clerk. Just tell the clerk who your client is. They will put the file to my left and then please take a seat and I will call you up. And trust me, nobody's going to skip in line. We go in order of appearance. We are going to have a jury trial starting this afternoon. So anything that does not work out, you'll be back for your jury. I'm going to call the docket to everyone who's in the room. You need to stand and let me know you are here. If you do not answer on the docket, what's going to end up happening is a warrant may be issued for your arrest. Blas Barrientos, thank you. Eric O, thank you. Jason Brown. Julius Clayton. Julius Clayton. Jonathan Yost. Jonathan Yost. Matthew Snow. Thank you. Charles Jones. Thank you. David Rosas. Am I pronouncing that last name correctly? Yes. All right. Philip Mosier or Moser.
Present, Judge.
Thank you. Jose Parada. Jose Parada. Robert Hitnick.
Present, Your Honor.
Thank you. Cornelius Johnson.
He's present, Your Honor.
Thank you. Cameron Sell. Cameron Sell. James Lawrence.
Judge, may I be excused to go to the county court 6? I've got to make an announcement for trial over there. We don't have discovery court order discovery in this case.
Where's your client?
I will call him right now.
Thank you. Christopher Washington? Christopher Washington.
He's in jail.
All right. Mr. Sherman, your client, if he's not here by 9:30, a warrant may be issued.
Ma'am.
Ryan Alvarado? Ryan Alvarado.
That case has been reset for August 29th to apply for the self version. He's been accepted.
All right, can I see the file on that one? Douglas Sanders. Thank you. Joseph Moreau. Thank you. David Michael Rodriguez. Leonardo Rosales. Javier Medina. Jason Brown, I have you. Cameron Sell. Mary Sexton. Mary Sexton. Nathaniel Tristan.
He's president of the council, Your Honor.
Thank you. Jonathan Yost. Julius Clayton. Jose Parada. Jose Parada. Ryan Alvarado. Ryan Alvarado. James Lawrence. And Douglas Sanders. All right, thank you. Is there anyone who's present whose name has not been called or you walked in late? What's your name? I'm sorry, what? Is he on the docket?
I'll take care of that.
All right, just have a seat and they'll approach you. For anyone who has a client who's in custody, their names have not been called because they're in custody. And attorneys, if you want that client brought out, which I'm sure you will because you're all going to confer, just approach the deputy and let them know. And once you approach the deputy and ask them to bring your client out, please do not leave. Yes, anyone else whose client was not called?
Well, Isaiah Gibson, we need a reset for 30 days.
All right, just give me a moment.
Okay.
Your Honor, Ms. Sexton just came in. She's here for compliance hearing.
All right, thank you. All right, anyone else whose name that was not called or you walked in late? All right, everyone, please confer. And if you'll just approach and get the file from the clerk, and I'll take yours up immediately.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Isaiah Gibson.
Judge, Mr. Lawrence is here.
All right, thank you.
You do have it.
Can I see the file on Sexton?
Was this one that
Good morning.
Thank you.
You can have a seat.
You want me to move? Okay.
All right, Ms. Sexton, if you can come forward, please. All right, Ms. Sexton, how are you doing?
Good, Your Honor.
All right, so we have some issues.
Yes, ma'am.
So why is it that you continue, because you're on probation for a DWI third, you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And you continue to use alcohol, that's a problem, you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so how are you addressing those issues?
I'm go to with Sakata and through AA just for one. I do 5 steps online, and I do my grief counseling also.
All right, could everyone please make sure you whisper? So where are you getting this alcohol from? Is it in the home?
No, ma'am, I left the home. I'm fleeing domestic violence.
Well, no, here's the question though, where are you getting, it says you were staying with your daughter. That's the last report I have. So where are you living?
Right now, I'm just living with a friend. I've been in 5 different places since January 6th.
Why?
On December 4th, when I came home July 14th, on July 20th, they called me that they airlifted my son to the hospital. And he passed away 9 days later.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So I did use in August, August of last year. And I haven't used since.
No, okay, so here's the thing. You can't be moving from place to place to place to place and not informing probation where you're living,
They,
all right?
yes, ma'am.
And
Probation knows that I'm in a domestic violence situation. I just got a protective order and I brought all the paperwork so you can see.
all right, so here's the thing, and this is what I tell everyone about relationships. You really shouldn't be getting into any relationship until you've got yourself together. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, here's the thing. I'm not saying, I don't believe that domestic violence is your fault, but you got to concentrate on you and not concentrate on others and other relationships, because until you
Yes,
get
ma'am.
yourself together and find out who you are as a clean and sober person, you're not going to find a good relationship. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So where are you staying now?
That was my relationship for 33 years.
Okay, where are you staying now?
Off of Zamora with Jennifer Gutierrez.
All right, so this is what I don't understand. Why were you staying with the friend if you've been in this relationship for 33 years?
Because when I buried my son in July, the mental abuse with me being sober, you sending me to state P. With me being sober, it showed me that I was in a mental abusive relationship. I went to my daughter's and stayed because after the funeral, we lost her father within 3 weeks of losing my son. So I went and stayed with her to get away from the mental abuse and to try and figure out what I was gonna do. Because upon my arriving at home, they stole $8,000 out of my account, which I have the proof of, out of my account. So I didn't have the money to flee or to escape.
But here's something,
But
what is your plan? Because I understand
so-
all of these issues that you're telling me,
Yes, ma'am.
but
So I have.
based upon my experience, is that people who have drug and alcohol addictions, they have a lot of things to say. It's complicated, confusing, but it's not a direct point from A to B. So what are you doing? Because you're looking at going to prison if you don't get your life together. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So what exactly are you doing to get your life together and not use alcohol?
Legal aid has helped me to do the protective order. They're helping me with housing. And
But
I,
that's not addressing the alcohol issue. Here's the thing, I understand that you have outside things going on in your life. And I think it's great that legal aid is helping you. I think it's great that you're getting out of this relationship. But this is a criminal court. You're on probation for DWI third, and you continue to drink alcohol. And you have the leg injury, and even with the leg injury and being in a wheelchair, you're continuing to drink alcohol. So my concern is, one, when you're on probation with the court for DWI third, part of my duties is to see what I can do to protect the community, and that means protecting them from having somebody who's still using alcohol. So let's get to the point of, what are you doing to address your continued use of alcohol?
I do a lot of groups with Cicada,
Mhm.
with Just for One and Nooners. I have my sponsor. I did use in August, thinking, burying my son, brought up my mother. And when I woke up, I realized that I messed up all my sobriety.
Mhm. All right, so here's the thing, we're not doing any more excuses about your limited mobility as to why you can't do testing. So there's not to be any more mistesting from her. If there's another mistesting from you, what's going to end up happening, whether you have limited mobility or not, a warrant is going to be issued for your arrest because a motion to revoke is going to be filed, and I'm going to sign it.
Yes, ma'am.
And so you will be at the Bexar County Jail with limited mobility.
I'm sorry.
No, go
I don't
ahead.
mean to cut you off. I was bedridden and I wasn't able to get out of bed. But as soon as I could, I went to go see my probation officer, and I'm doing my UAs at the clinic now. At the mental health clinic.
Mhm.
And I've already done one of last month.
You need to go around.
So
I wasn't trying to miss them.
no, I understand what you're saying, but it amazes me that people with limited mobility, you can't do your UA testing, but you can find time to drink alcohol. So that's not going to happen anymore. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And I understand about your domestic violence situation, and I appreciate that, and I internalize that and hear that. And I'm glad that you are working towards getting into an independent relationship with yourself. But you have to make sure that you do what's required of you for probation. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself at the Bexar County Jail.
Yes,
And I
ma'am.
do understand that people have issues that are going on in their lives. I respect that. I internalize what's being said. But at the end of the day, you're on probation and you must do what's required of you on probation. And let me look here. Yes, if you violate your probation, you're looking at potentially 5 years in the prison. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And people will tell you that I'm very fair, but I've sent people to prison in wheelchairs before. And it's just that you'll take your wheelchair to prison with you, and they'll provide you with your ability to move around at the prison. But I can't have you on probation for DWI third, and you're not taking your test, and you're continually to test positive. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is there anything else that you need from the court in order to hopefully be successful on this probation?
I was gonna see if the court could waive my fees. I've been on my handheld monitor. I violated in August, and I called Miss O'Neill as soon as it happened to let her know, and I asked her for help, so they sent me to the mental center. I haven't violated since. I haven't tested dirty. Due to the wreck, I couldn't UA from January till last month. But my financial struggles, I can't afford to pay. I begged, they're charging me from the time that I was locked up in safety on my Smart Start, and I'm having to pay $200 a month. And it's just hard for me to do it, and I begged them to have it, if they could do my regular fees for $135.
All right, Ms.
For
Sexton, you're
July.
wiping your eyes, but there are no tears there. Here's the thing, what's gonna end up happening is, we can see if she can be placed on indigent status as far as the device, or either deferred payments on the device. just see if they're able to do that.
They can do deferred payments.
All right, so problem solved, deferred payments.
Okay, and my fees, I still have fees from the time that I was locked up in safe P.
No, you need to pay your court fees. Here's the thing, I'll waive court fees for people when they've actually been successful in their probation,
I admit that I would.
okay? All right, so once you've shown me that you can be successful on it, then the court will consider those other options, all right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so no more violations, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck. Probation's gonna go over new conditions with you.
Okay.
All right, who is here on Isaiah Gibson?
Right here, Your Honor.
Yes.
We're requesting 30 days for the state to get their other cases, and maybe we could put a bow on everything.
All right, how many other cases are we speaking of?
2 others.
There's 3 unindicted, Judge.
All right,
Unindicted and then misdemeanor. So she's asking for what, 30 days?
Yes.
all right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset for Isaiah Gibson, please?
I can do August 23rd.
All right, so we'll be back on August 23rd.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Mr. Gibson, can you come forward, please? All right, Mr. Gibson, your case is going to be reset for August 23rd. It's being reset so that your attorney can have a chance to review the other unindicted cases. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions?
No.
All right, thank you. They're going to take you back.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, have a great day.
You too.
All right, Nathaniel Tristan.
Morning,
Hi,
Judge.
yes.
Welcome back.
Oh, thank you. So you all are ready for jury trial, correct?
Yes,
We're
Your
not
Honor.
ready to judge. We filed a continuance. Bear County has come up with funds to send me to Nashville, Tennessee to attend mandatory training. And I filed a continuance based on that.
Didn't I
I really
already
think
hear
we-
this motion for continuance?
Say again?
Didn't I hear this motion for continuance previously?
You heard one similar to it prior to this trial setting, but we got the trial underway on Monday. We picked a jury, and then unfortunately, 2 of them came down with COVID. So we lost 2.5 days.
Okay.
Now, if we start the trial today, we'll go into next week.
Mhm.
And then I'm gonna have to tell Lozito and Smith why I missed that training. So,
All right, can we go on the record, please?
Yes.
Court is calling 2019 CR 8838, State of Texas versus Nathaniel Tristan. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Michelle Hayden for the state.
for the defense?
Robert Featherston,
And Zachary Munoz.
All right, where's Mr. Tristan?
you want him up front, Your Honor?
Yes.
Yeah, come on up front.
All right, the court has a motion for continuance from the defense. State, have you had a chance to review the motion for continuance?
I have, Your Honor, and we are opposed to it. We actually flew in a witness from Florida on Monday, so we are ready to go.
All right, defense, I'll hear your argument with regards to your motion.
Your Honor, to please the court, the training in Nashville, Tennessee is for the Felony Veterans Treatment Court. The money has been provided by Bear County to send the staff there for mandatory training that is required on an annual basis. The funds were provided through Mike Lozito and Mr. Smith. So the funds have been expended, and we're requesting that we be allowed, or that I be allowed to attend that training to maintain my certification to the national standards required by that felony treatment.
All right, and my understanding is there was a previous motion for continuance from the court with your other co-counsel, not this co-counsel, correct?
That is correct, Judge. And at the front end of that, at that motion, I listed a vacation letter, which was inclusive of this training. The dates associated with that, well, it would have started today. But the court denied that based on the vacation. Notice. But there wasn't a proper record made about the fact that the training in Nashville is sponsored by Bear County and required by national standards and best practices.
All right, your motion is denied. We'll start jury trial up at 1:30 today. So I'll see you all back at 1:30.
We'll be back at 1:30, Judge.
Thank you.
And Judge, do you anticipate starting the trial after jury selection, or would that be tomorrow morning?
Do you have witnesses here today?
Not at the moment. We weren't sure what was gonna happen.
All right, just give me a moment. How much time are you all asking for your state
45 minutes.
defense?
An hour and a half, John.
All right. Just make sure you have at least 2 witnesses and we'll see how voir dire goes.
Okay,
Thank you. All right, James Lawrence,
He's
Are we
present.
excused, Judge?
yes. Come forward, please.
Where do you want me to sit?
Right there.
Sorry.
Mr. Lawrence, why were you late for court?
Our original court date was yesterday, and I take care of my grandma. She's 87 years old, and so people have
Hey, you're talking low. Could everyone please whisper? Yes.
I was originally scheduled for yesterday, so I had my calendar set up to come to court yesterday. And then when I got the notice late yesterday that it was rescheduled for today, didn't have anybody to transfer over to take care of my grandmother. I live and take care of her. They got there about 15 minutes to 9. I'm only 15 minutes away, so shut on that.
All right, make sure you're not late again, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, what is happening with this case?
The court-ordered discovery is not present. I checked it again this morning on my way to court.
All right, what discovery is missing?
The blood test.
I can check on that, Judge, with our paralegal. The discovery that I thought Mr. Sherman was talking about is there's a body cam video from the initial officer who just flagged down. When I was in pretrial with him last week, he let me know he did have a body cam. I've gotten hold of the agency. They've tagged it correctly now, and it should be uploaded this morning. They sent an email yesterday that it should be uploaded today. So that's been turned over, but I'll check on the blood discovery disc.
All right,
I'll check on that this afternoon, Judge.
Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 2-week reset for Mr. Lawrence, please?
2 weeks for trial, is that what this is?
Yes.
We don't have the blood test, but
Well, I'm hoping that you will have it. We will see what happens in 2
Judge,
weeks.
once I do get it, I may need to review it and call a toxicologist. I can't just have them and be ready.
All right, thank you. Norman, can I have a 2-week reset, please?
August 9th, August 8th.
All right, we'll see you back on August 8th. Get a reset form from Ms. Ferguson.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, just,
Who's your time?
Good morning. Hi. Mario Pampas. You someone sworn to affirm that all is true and correct within your personal knowledge.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, if you'll sign for me, please.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, who's here for Jose Parada?
I'm just here to announce.
All right, and what is the announcement?
We're ready. And then Mr. Lotta has a motion to dismiss for like a speedy trial on file. I don't know if the court would hear that today or.
I don't have the motion.
I can get a copy.
All right, if we get a copy from the back, and
Okay.
then we will hear the motion, but your client, my understanding is Spanish speaker.
Yes, and Mr. Lotta's coming in from Medina. I just wanted to ask the court if we could hear it today.
Yeah, we'll hear your motion
Okay.
for a speedy trial.
Thank you, Judge.
State, are you ready to proceed on a motion for its dismissal for speedy trial, for one of speedy trial?
Judge, I haven't seen it yet, but I can look at it.
All right, thank you. All right, who's here on Leonardo Rosales? All right, and where's Mr. Rosales?
He is present, please stand.
All right, you need to come forward, sir.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Rosales, have you had a chance to confirm?
Yes, Your Honor, and the state's reviewing the file. There may be an unfiled case they're taking on as well, and we're just requesting a reset. They're gonna email me an offer.
All right, other than this issue that she's mentioned, is there any other outstanding discovery for her?
I don't believe so, Judge. There is a sealed case, and so unfortunately, our intake prosecutor is currently in trial. And so I haven't been able to talk to her about that sealed case. It'd be kind of a wrap around package deal.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I have a 45-day reset on Rosales. Is that enough time for each person?
I believe so, Judge.
All right, so you all will need to confer off docket.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, that's fine. All right, you're gonna come back on September 1st, and that's gonna be at 9 a.m. You understand?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
All right, they'll give you a reset form and you can be excused. All right, who's here on D'Angelo Robinson? Yes.
We had the 7th for yesterday.
Yeah, my flight was canceled, so we're here today.
How was Tuscany?
Oh, Tuscany is beautiful. But you know, they're going through a heat wave there as well.
Yeah, there's fires in London.
Yes.
103 degrees.
They showed someone sitting on a train and they didn't know what to do because you could see the fire like right outside the train window.
It's like California or something.
Yes, but it was still beautiful. Okay, let me see which page your client is on. Okay. All right, so who's the prosecutor? All right, so I have a night document sheet that we're here for discovery and some motion or something.
Yeah, I just, I wanted a fingerprint report, and it looks like there's not a fingerprint report or something, but there's a fingerprint, so I wanted to get the fingerprint, get my expert, get the fingerprint.
All right, so what is up with the fingerprint issue? Because he's saying that he needs a fingerprint report. So
One of
what's, okay, allegedly were fingerprints taken, and is there a fingerprint report?
There was a fingerprint, the police report indicates there was a fingerprint, one thumbprint. It's supposed to match my client, but I said, okay, well, where's the fingerprint report so I can see what they did and how many points and all that. And it looks like they're saying, well, there's no fingerprint report, but we got a fingerprint. Well, okay, where's the fingerprint?
Okay.
All right.
So, yes, Judge, I can get him a copy of the fingerprint card that was taken.
All right, so other than the fingerprint report, is there any other outstanding discovery?
There was an issue with the identification, but I think we actually worked that out. But they were gonna get me the 6-packs. There were 2 6-packs, so they were gonna get me, I think there was a report or something that's done when they do the 6-packs to see that everything was done right. Because both 6-packs don't have my client in them. Okay, so it was just a mess.
All right, so do you have the identification booking sheets or no?
No, I have like 6-packs, I think. I'll check, but it's been a while since I thought about that. But I think there was just some small things that were missing, but we had the 6-packs. But the confusion was that it's apparently the co-defendant that's in the 6-packs, in both 6-packs. My client's not in it.
All right, so when do these issues will be covered? State.
Within a couple weeks. Right?
All right, so who is the co-defendant allegedly?
Dimitri Lavallee. He fled and he is awaiting sentencing.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, and when is he set for sentencing?
Yeah, I think it's like September.
Okay, all right. So, Norma, can we recall this case and put it at the beginning of August? And that's just for discovery. And then after that, I'm going to give you a plea deadline date, okay?
I can do August 4th.
I'm sorry, August what? Could we do the 5th maybe? I've got like 4 things in the
I
morning.
can do August 5th. You want to do it Friday? I can do August 2nd.
I can do August 2nd.
Okay. So we'll be back on August 2nd for discovery. And then your next setting will be a plea deadline date, okay?
Thank you.
All right, just get a reset form from Ms. Ferguson.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, could I see Richard Vaughn, please? Who's in custody, is that correct? All right, Deputy Vaughn, could you let Mr. Vaughn know his case is being reset for August 8th and just let him know his attorney is ill?
Yes.
Thank you. And then what page is he on?
He's on page 12.
Okay, thank you. Eric O. If you come forward, please. All right, Mr. O, your case is being recalled for August 8th. Your attorney is out ill. You'll get a reset form from Ms. Ferguson, please. You're welcome. Who's here on Cameron's cell?
I am Judge.
Yes. Hello, Mr. Sell, come up. All right, Mr. Sell, why were you late?
We had to find parking and my mom had surgery last week on her stomach, so she can't walk as fast as she thought she could, so she said. So we were kind of late and there's traffic as well. And
How
we
old
had
are you?
18.
Why are you depending on your mom? And see, here's the thing. A loving child, if their mom were ill from surgery, as you say, and thought she could walk faster than she could, as you say, you would have taken the VIA bus and you would have told your mom, Mom, I don't need you to come in today because I know you've had surgery and I know you're ill. Instead of putting her, on her docket to come down to court, because she's not charged with anything. It's the state of Texas versus Cameron Sale. Do you understand? So don't ever come forward in this court and blame your parent who's had surgery for not walking as fast as she thought she could. You understand? All right. So what's happening with this case?
Judge, at the last setting, I believe it was the last setting that I filed a motion to set aside the indictment, but the state agreed that it was a faulty indictment, so they re-indicted the case. I just received a copy of the new indictment. I believe it was either last Thursday or last Friday, physical copy this morning.
All right,
And-
is that the 2022-5615?
Yes, Judge. That one.
All right, so the other cases, State, are you dismissing the other two cases then since it's been re-indicted under 2022 CR 5615?
And Judge, I was actually conferring with Ms. Paulison. I don't know if she just stepped out.
Judge, we'll be dismissing one of them. I don't think they were combined.
All right. Were both cases to be re-indicted? Because I have on the docketing sheet that 0703 state to re-indict. And then on 0704, I have state to re-indict.
If you could just give me 1 second.
Sure.
Judge.
No, but that's an officer waiting back there for a search warrant. If they'll just pass it to you all and have a seat, I'll review it.
Yes, Judge, I think they'll just be dismissing one case, which is the O3 case.
So there's no issue with the 04 case?
No, that's a totally separate case.
Caroline, even though the state is dismissing the 0703 case, can you keep the files together? All right, so where are we on discovery issues?
I don't believe that there's any discovery issues at this time, Judge. Based on the new case, I have received a new offer, and I would just like a setting to go, one more setting so I can go over that with my client and determine if we're going to accept that.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on sale, can I have a 30-day reset for pre-deadline date? And then after that will be your trial date.
Okay, and I'm out in some of August. Could I get like an early September date if possible?
Ms. Ferguson? Well, if it's gonna be early September, because we'll miss all of August, then it'll be plea deadline date and trial date.
Okay.
So we'll give you September. September
Okay.
6th.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Sale, your plea deadline date and jury trial date is September 6th. So on that date, you let the court know if you want to accept the state's offer or not. And if you choose not to accept the state's offer, then we'll head into a jury trial. Now, of course, you never know if your case is going to go on that date because we'll have other cases set on that date as well. You understand? And here's my advice to you. Don't ever have your mother coming down to court when she's been in the hospital and you know COVID is running rampant. She should be at home because I'm sure when she had that surgery, I'm sure the doctor told her, don't be up running around, don't go anywhere, just relax, bed rest. You understand? So are you able to cook?
Sort of, kind of.
All right, so you should be able to make your mom some soup, put it in a microwave or something. And they have canned soup at the store and you need to ask her what she has a taste for. And then once you find out what she has a taste for, you need to make it. That's the least you can do. You understand? And the other thing, when you walk out of this courtroom with her today, you tiptoe. Don't be walking fast and don't be getting on her about like, if you're gonna walk faster, I would have been on time, because that's all on you. You understand? Treat your mom with respect and show that you love her through action. All right. All right. They're going to give you a reset form. And Mr. Navy, be sure to reiterate that to him about his mom. You only get one mom on this planet.
I will just.
Okay. Okay, perfect.
Let me read the first one. Thank you. Everyone, just give me a moment. I'm reading.
Yes, sir.
Search warrant. Just give me a second.
Yes, Your Honor.
Welcome back. Okay. Okay.
Jay.
Okay. I didn't- Okay.
If you,
All right, can I see officer, please? Ms. Ferguson said, Ms. Ferguson said there's something we need to discuss.
The very first warrant was previously signed by Judge Rangel, but it was for Verizon. And Verizon's return came back and said there was the phone number was owned by AT&T. So it's the same warrant, just now with AT&T, and the last four are for the same case, same narrative.
Okay, with all of the documents, do you sign and swear that all is within your personal knowledge and it's correct?
Yes, ma'am.
You will sign this. Oh, yeah, no problem.
Where?
You know, team member one. Keep going.
Judge, I appreciate your time.
Judge, they told me just to bring the motion and
Okay,
can I approach?
yes.
Judge, my client is set Monday.
Mhm.
He's 72. He's done his homework and feels he meets the vulnerable. I cited it there. I've had to research the orders. I haven't filed one of these before, but he's requesting to appear remotely in the 227. So Judge, Connor's not here. So I brought the motion to you. Since
Do you know if this is a trial setting now?
it is, Your Honor.
Is the state in agreement with him appearing for trial by video?
I haven't discussed it with the state as far as that. I read the order and I think if we just allow him to appear remotely Monday, I think we could probably work that stuff out.
All right, is this what he's charged with? Is it family violence?
Yes,
or
ma'am.
Could I see someone from family violence, please? All right, so on this case, it's from the 227. The defendant is requesting that he be allowed to appear by video. So it's a trial setting, but I'm reading, if you could hand that to Mr. Villarreal, please. But it appears that he meets the criteria as a vulnerable part of the population. But I'm not aware. I mean, I think the state has to agree as far as the jury trial, when he goes to jury trial, for him to have trial by video. I'm inclined to sign it, and then on the 19th, if Judge O'Connell wants him present in court, or if the state provides some of the case law where he needs to be present, then I'm sure they can have him transported.
Yeah, I thought just the first step was to allow him to appear by video, and then if on trial matters, we could set that up through the judge. I'm not exactly requesting a trial by jury. I think the order says reset it or appear by Zoom if he meets the criteria. So I've not done this before. He's insisting on it, and he does meet it, the criteria in every way, so.
And Judge, obviously, I'm not familiar with
Yes,
the case.
sure.
I'm not familiar with the court rules in the 227 as it relates to the COVID protocol stuff.
Judge, maybe you could make the order conditional, just allow him to appear for his appearance remotely and then leave it up to Judge O'Connell for anything after that, I assume.
All right, do you know when Judge O'Connell will be back? I know
They said on Monday, that's why I came down here. I didn't feel like I could give him permission to not appear unless I had something up.
Okay, so number what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna sign this motion, but could you alert the court coordinator that if Judge O'Connell or if they want him in court on the July 25th?
I think they're on in person. I don't think they're doing it.
Well, I think you're right. I think it is in person. That's why I filed this. But the order's pretty straightforward.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
I just don't like to step on any.
No,
other
I
judges.
understand, Judge,
Yes.
and I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to.
All right, so if Judge O'Connell is gonna be back on the 19th, can you just send an email to the court coordinator, letting her know that I've signed these documents, and if Judge O'Connell wants to revisit it on the 19th again? All right.
Whatever the date is, Judge, what is the date?
You put on here, he wants to appear remotely for the court proceeding on July 25th.
Okay, yeah,
Okay,
I appreciate it, Ron.
all right, if he's set for the 25th, why can't this be heard on the 19th and the 27th?
Today's the
Today's the 20th, Judge.
Oh, I'm still on vacation time, aren't I?
No, you're.
All right, yeah,
think I'm
today is the
right.
20th.
Good. You had me going for a second too.
Yeah,
I was there with you.
Because I was thinking, why can't he just appear on the 19th? All right, could I have the other motion? Because you have 3.
I did, Judge, and they're not e-filed. I just needed, if you'll sign it, I'll walk it back to the court. And I appreciate it. I really do. I did not know how to handle this.
Yes, and just let the court coordinator know, of course, and I know Judge O'Connell knows if he wants to change it and have him appear. He can.
Sure. Thank you for your time.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
You know. All right, who's here on Carmelo Figueroa? And I believe this is criminal trial division. And where's Carmelo Figueroa?
He's out, but we were just supposed to announce that we're still gonna proceed. We still want a trial, and I know we need to be back at 1:30.
Yes, 1:30.
Okay, we will be.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Judge, was there a judge?
Just
It's not your court, but it's a bond setting and I can't find another judge anywhere.
Oh, yeah, just give it to the personnel, give it to me. Caroline. That's a jury trial. Jonathan Yost.
Your Honor, just went back over here. Let me grab it.
All right, thank you.
Looks like she's hiding.
Yes, where's Mr. Yost?
Oh, okay. Good morning, Judge.
Good morning.
You were talking to me?
Yes. Okay, what is this taxi
Mama.
driver? You talking to me?
Well, I have a few things I'd like to say also.
Yes. So where's
Not
Mr. Jonathan Yost?
I don't have him with me, Judge. I anticipate that he'll probably walk through those doors soon.
You want to hear a story that's a true story, but it surprised me. So I was in Paris for an international CLE. And we're
Paris,
listening.
Texas.
No, Paris, France. Yeah. So we're listening to this case. And in the misdemeanor court, they have 3 judges who are hearing it, and you have the prosecutors in their robes and the defense attorneys in their robes. So my French was starting to come back to me so I could make out what was happening. So the guy was like, no, I need to have my witness here. The person who had me holding the money is this guy in Vegas. And that's where I got the 2,500 euros. And they're like, he's going to be here today. He's going to be here today. He's coming to testify on my behalf and I want a new trial. And so I'm just sitting there. And then the next thing I know, I hear the doors open. And guess what? There's a guy from Las Vegas coming in to say he wasn't a drug dealer. Like, this money, I gave him the money. And the judges were still saying, no, we're not going to hear that. And I was just stunned. And, the injustice of it all. And then the French attorney who was with us, I'm like, so what is going to happen to this guy? Let's not leave it. He's like, Stephanie, they're just arguing over how much community service he's to do. He's like, he only wants to do 80, they want 100. So that's what the whole thing was about. But so I'm looking for Mr. Yost to walk into the fact. So I'm going to call the case. And when I call it, we'll see if Mr. Yost comes in as I'm calling the case. If he does, we're going to all be surprised. All right. So Brenda, you ready?
I'm ready.
It may happen, Mr. Cox. Court is calling 2020 CR 9647, State of Texas versus Jonathan Yost. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Richard Getta for the state.
For the defense?
Cornelius Cox.
And is there a Jonathan Yost?
He's in the hallway.
Your Honor, may I please make a few representations to the court about what's happening here?
Yes.
Since Mr. Yost was arrested in February 27th of 2019, he's pleaded guilty in Ohio to attempted theft, and he's committed new offenses in Miami, Florida, Burbank, California, Waikiki and Honolulu, Hawaii, Tampa, Florida, Atlanta, Georgia, Los Angeles, California, Springville, Tennessee. And on top of that, the addresses he's given to this court to contact him are fake addresses.
All right, so, but most importantly, is he obtaining his travel miles?
I just, I believe that he will not show up unless he's brought in by a warrant.
Oh, no, I mean, he was supposed to be here at 9, he's not here. Mr. Cox, is your client in Honolulu, Miami, and where are the other places?
Tampa, Springville, Los Angeles, Burbank, Atlanta.
Springfield, isn't that the birthplace of Abraham Lincoln?
And I'm aware of this because we've had individual victims reach out to us.
Wait a minute, somebody's coming through the door. No, it's not Mr. Yes.
So
All right.
I just moved to forfeit his bond.
All right, Mr. Cox, you have any idea where Mr. Yost may be?
No, but with all those places, it may be a situation where he may be involuntarily detained. And I'm not sure at this point yet. The only thing I would do is I would ask the court for a short continuance to allow me to see if I can locate him.
Your Honor, we flew witnesses in here from Lafayette, Louisiana, and our victim flew in from Los Angeles, California.
All right, so here's the thing. The jury trial is scheduled at 1:30. So if Mr. Yost is not here by 1:30, then the court will hear your motion for a remand without bond. All right, and a warrant will be issued. Well, I'll hear your motion as far as asking for a warrant to be issued. And then, of course, if I don't see him, I more likely than not will do a remand without bond. And we can have a hearing in 7 days on the remand without bond.
That's fine.
All right, so we'll be back at 1:30 because that's when our trial docket is actually scheduled.
Okay.
Wait a minute, someone's, no, that's not
That's
Mr.
fine.
Yost. All right, so 1:30 p.m.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Who is here on Christian Smith? Christian Smith. Who's the attorney for Christian Smith? All right, Christian Smith, if you'll come up, please. Hello, how are you doing?
I'm fine, Judge. How are you?
All right, it's always good to see you.
Likewise.
All right, we're here for sentencing, correct?
No, Judge, it's a plea.
Okay, he entered up, I have the packet, and it says probation. He applied for probation. Am I wrong?
No, we're gonna plead and apply for probation, Judge.
Ah, okay, this is a new, thank you.
There's two cases, one's gonna be TIC.
Okay. All right, if everyone could please make sure you whisper, except, excuse me, the people who are behind the court reporter, John Coots, can you make sure that you sort of keep it down a little bit? Deputy, is there any way to put him maybe on the back row so they're not right behind Brenda?
All about right.
All right, the court is calling 2022 CR 3079, State of Texas versus Christian Smith. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Brittany Sparks.
Eddie Garcia from Mr. Smith.
And are you Mr. Smith?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm gonna need you to speak up so I can hear, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, defense of showing you discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Judge.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Smith, I'm showing you what's entitled application for probation. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Next, I'm showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Judge.
All right, Mr. Smith, I'm going to show you what's entitled court admonishments and defendant's waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with felony in possession of a firearm? That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargaining agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargaining agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargaining agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Smith, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than a plea bargain agreement?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain agreement, did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 2 years in the prison. There's a $1,000 fine to be probated. State recommends community supervision, and they will take into consideration 2020 CR 3080. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense is at the plea bargain agreement.
It is.
State is at the plea bargain agreement.
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 2 years. There'll be a TAP evaluation, 120 hours of community service restitution, a motion to destroy the weapon, which is a black Heckler, HECKLER, and Koch, KOCH, serial number 2404035. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offense is charged in indictment. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Yes.
State any evidence to support the defendant's guilty plea.
Yes, Judge. State offered safety exhibit 1 and all attachments.
Any objections?
None, Your Honor.
Mr. Smith, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call in the right to remain silent.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there'll be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. We're gonna go off the record for a moment. I don't have the
Judgment.
yes. All right, thank you.
It's gonna be page packet, but there's the part.
Any objections? It's the judgment council.
No, we've gone over that. My client and I have gone over that. No objection.
All right, so the state is accepting as an attachment to state's exhibit 1 in attachments, which is the waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court is receiving the judgment of conviction by court in cause number 15-1150 K26. And it's a judgment out of Williamson County. And after reviewing state's exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Judge, we would like to waive the pre-sentence report. However, since you were going to order, I would assume, a cap evaluation, we'd like to come back and review the cap evaluation before sentencing.
All right, are you ready to proceed with sentencing?
Only to the extent that you would give me an opportunity to address any recommendations.
Oh, I'm going to make the recommendations.
All right, well, let's go ahead and reset for a pre-sentence report.
Ms. Ferguson? When can this come back to sentencing?
Right, you're looking at September 6th.
All right, Mr. Christian, you'll remain in custody until September 6th, and we'll come back for your sentencing on that day. All right. Thank you. And we'll do a tap evaluation.
Judge, do you want me to take the dismissal, or is it okay and all that?
You can either take it or we can keep it in the file.
If you can keep it, that'd be.
Sure. All right, Caroline, just make sure that this isn't signed. All right, thank you.
So you were stuck in Barcelona?
No, Florence.
Oh, just as horrible.
Yeah.
Just as horrible. Your trip pictures look amazing.
Oh, okay.
I'm so jealous.
Okay, could I see the file on, I guess this is the one on sale that was going to be dismissed, right?
Yeah, Market States needs to be dismissed and
Okay.
re-indicted.
Oh, I don't need it then. I've already put it in there. All right, thank you.
What was your favorite place you went to? What was your favorite place you went to?
I enjoyed Nice.
Nice?
Yes, and I think it's because I met a lot of people there, and it was during their cultural fest. I didn't know that France had a cultural fest.
I didn't know they did either.
Every year, so there were performances all over, like John Legend.
Oh, really?
Everybody was here. They had a big jazz.
Oh, that's
It was
awesome.
beautiful.
Yeah.
And of course, it's beautiful. When you're near the water, it's not as cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to go.
All right, who's Joseph Murrow? Is Joseph Murrow here? All right, then as soon as Joseph Murrow comes back, we'll take that matter out. All right, State, do you have any objection to this motion to travel for Michael Anthony Marshall? Do we have a setting in this case? Oh.
Oh, yeah. Older than you. But I just did it. Follow this.
Your Honor, I just conferred with the state and they have no objection to Mr. Marshall's request. May I?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Oh, I'm sorry, could I have that back? Just
Yes, Your Honor.
let me just ask.
And would you like me to take this back to 227 to be
Yes.
filed? Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right, Jose Corrado, we're just waiting for an interpreter. All right, who's here on Johnny Alvarado?
Present, Your Honor, and we proceed.
Yes, where's Mr. Alvarado?
He's in the jury box.
All right, you come up, Mr. Alvarado. Oh. No, because I guess they'll come back at 1:30 then, correct?
Yeah.
Yes. All right, the court is calling 2022 CR 3889, State of Texas versus Johnny Alvarado. Can I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state,
Marcus Sanders.
for the defense?
George Schaefer for defendant, Your Honor.
And are you Mr. Alvarado?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Schaefer, I'm showing you what's entitled discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
I have, Your Honor.
The court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Alvarado, I'm going to show you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on an indictment as presented?
No, Judge, we're waiving the enhancement paragraph.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Alvarado, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it at all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, did you understand you're charged with possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1 gram, penalty group 1, from 1 gram to 4 grams, that's a 3rd-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I believe he is, Your Honor.
Mr. Alvarado, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney? Did you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 3 years in the prison. There are no applications. There's $57 restitution to SAPD for testing. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense is at the plea bargain agreement.
It is, Your Honor.
State is at the plea bargain agreement.
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then as previously stated, the court is finding that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. And Mr. Alvarado, to the offense is charged in the indictment. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
Yes, state office states Exhibit 1 and its attachments.
No objections, Your Honor.
Mr. Alvarado, I'm going to show you what's entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, I'd like to ask the court to first follow the plea agreement and secondly, give this defendant credit for all time he has served.
All right, the court will follow your agreement, sentence you to 3 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There is $57 restitution to SAPD for drug testing. Is there anything else from either side with regards to sentencing?
No, Judge. No, Your Honor.
Mr. Alvarado, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargaining agreement, and because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Alvarado, we can go off the record. How old are you?
I turned 49 October.
Right, do you have any children?
We're already grown.
All right, so here's the thing. You're getting close to that point in your life where you have more of your life behind you than in front of you. And you're eliminating some of your years by doing this. You understand? So you're gonna have to make a decision, and your decision is gonna be, do you continually want to be in and out of the prison, in and out of the Bexar County Jail, or do you want to be in the free world?
Free world.
All right, so when you go to prison, use it as a time to think about how you're gonna change your life, how you're not gonna be back at the jail again. You understand?
Already started.
All right, remember that when you get out, don't get all extremely happy that you're out and forget all of your plans, okay?
I understand.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Alvarado.
Thank you, ma'am, for your time.
You're welcome.
Sorry.
All right, are the parties here on Kenneth Jones?
Yes, Your Honor. May we approach?
Yes. And what page was Alvarado on?
Page 12.
12, all right, thank you. All right, good morning, Mr. Jones. All right, who's the prosecutor on Mr. Jones?
Mr. Sanders, Your Honor.
All right, the court is calling 2022 CR 0952, State of Texas versus Kenneth Jones. Can I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state,
Marcus Sanders.
for the defense?
Neil Gonzalez from Mr. Kenneth Jones.
And are you Mr. Jones? All right, I'm gonna need you to speak up, don't whisper. All right, counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
I have, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Jones, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Judge, we're waiving the enhancement paragraphs.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor. I also believe they're only proceeding on count 2. Is that correct?
Are there 2 counts?
Yes.
Then yes, Judge.
All right,
Waiving
so
count 1 also.
Mr. Jones, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, what you're charged with in count 2 is possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 to 200 grams. That's a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement, then you can withdraw your plea. The fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Jones, has anyone threatened you, forced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Show you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney, and did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea bargain agreement, punishments be assessed at 2 years in the prison. There are no applications, and there's $57 restitution to SAPD for drug testing. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you sign it in both places?
Yes.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the offense in count two, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence.
Yes, state offer states exhibit 1 and its attachments. No objections, Your Honor.
Mr. Jones, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
The court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, Your Honor, we just ask that you follow the plea agreement as it is and allow him to have credit for the time he has served in custody at this time.
All right, as previously stated, the court is finding you guilty of count 2, which is possession of controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 grams to 200 grams. The court will follow your plea bargain agreement, sentence you to 2 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served, and there's restitution of $57 to SAPD for drug testing. Is there anything from either side with regards to sentencing?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Jones, I'm showing you what's entitled trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. How old are you?
37.
Do you have any children?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so what are we doing with your drug problem? Are you trying to address those issues?
Yes, Your
All right, what are your plans for your future?
Honor. Get back to my career and stick with God. I got baptized 2 years ago. Back right to my children.
All right, you got to walk the walk, you know? And your children, is it a boy and girl or how
I
many?
have 6 boys and 2 girls.
So you have 6 boys and 2 children. What are their ages? What is the youngest?
The youngest is 2.
And what is the oldest?
20.
All right, so here's the thing. Children, I trust you. They would love to have their fathers in their life. And when you don't have your father in your life, you're sort of starting like at the back of the line a little bit because you don't have that person to give you guidance. And so you have 6 boys who don't have a male figure to give them guidance. Or maybe they do. Maybe there's some other guy who's stepping up to the plate. Maybe it's an uncle. Well, I mean, sometimes it's an uncle. I don't necessarily mean boyfriend, but sometimes it may be someone's boyfriend. But if you're going to bring children in this world, you owe it to them to make their life as easy as possible. And part of making their life as easy as possible is not having a father who's in and out of the prison and who's using. Because then guess what? If you have your children come visit you at prison, that's going to become a regular routine and they're not going to see anything wrong with it. Oh, we're going to see dad at prison. And I guarantee you, your daughters, if they have a father-daughter dance, you're not there because you're at the prison. Or you're not there because you're using. So you're going to have to make up your mind to do better. And I'm going to tell you what I tell everybody else and what I used to tell CPS clients that I represented. Don't be that parent who comes in and out of your child's life pretending like you're going to do better and you do better for 2 days, because each time you do that, you disappoint your child and you break their heart. So when you go to the prison, internalize everything that I've said to you, hopefully, and hopefully get your life on track. And when you get out of prison, who knows? They may release you from the Bexar County Jail. They may say you have enough time. But when you get out, the first thing you should do is not, ooh, I'm free, let me go do whatever. No. The first thing you should do is find you some AA meeting or NA meeting and keep your life on track. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, who's here on Cornelius Johnson? All right, court is calling 2021 CR 9979, State of Texas versus Cornelius Johnson. I'll bring it off the record. Deputy Laura, if that officer has something, could you just remind them to just bring it up, and if they sit it here, then they can be placed in line. Ah, okay.
Yes, Judge.
All right, thanks.
Our victim has a statement that she wants me to read out, just so you know.
Okay, sure. All right, we're back on the record. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Brittany Sparks.
Robert Porter from Mr. Johnson.
And are you Mr. Johnson?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, defense, I'm showing you the acknowledgement of discovery. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
I did.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Johnson, I'm showing you what's entitled application for probation. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, next I'm showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Judge.
All right, Mr. Johnson, I'm going to show you what's entitled court admonishments and defendant's waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that you're charged with failure to stop and render aid, serious bodily injury as a third-degree felony? The range of punishment for that offense is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Johnson, has anyone threatened you, forced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been
Yes,
represented?
ma'am.
Are you a US citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Show you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney, and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 5 years in the prison. The state is recommending community supervision. There should be restitution of $2,636.73 to Hannah Eby, HANNAH, last name EBY. There's to be restitution payable under 2021 CR 9979, which is this case. And there's to be no contact with Hannah Eby. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense is at the plea bargain
It is,
agreement? State is at the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm going to show you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that are filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, there being such motions.
There you go.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 5 years. There'll be a TAP evaluation and 120 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state, and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charged in the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence.
Yes, Judge. State offers State's Exhibit 1 and all attachments.
No, Judge.
Mr. Johnson, I'm going to show you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, after reviewing state's exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Please the court.
All
That's
right,
what I was looking.
Is there anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yeah, sure. I'm not sure if it really reflected what really transpired there, but yes, it clearly broke the law. But he was the one that did call the police. There's multiple calls, but they call the police from his home, talked to the officers, took full responsibility at that point in time. I think most of the hang up at this point in time was just seeing what the restitution would be. I think Mr. Johnson's going to be a great probation or see him being in front of this court.
All right, anything you wish to say, Mr. Johnson?
As far as the big thing, everything happened so quick. I feel bad for her. The thing that was said about whatever I believe that happened with this. I wish the best for her. That's basically what I'm saying.
Okay, how old are you?
I'm 35.
All right, do you have any children?
I have 2,
What are their ages?
17 and 5.
Okay, so is your 17-year-old driving yet?
No, man.
All right, usually children want to drive immediately when they can. I was the only one in my family who didn't start driving until, I guess I shouldn't even mention the age of 21, but I didn't see any upside. I just thought it was extra responsibility to school responsibility I already had, but of course my brothers wanted, if they could have started driving when they were 8, they wanted to drive at 8. But as you know, of course, when you hit someone or hit something, like we wouldn't even be here today if you would have just stopped at the scene, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't know, San Antonio is one of those cities where people walk in roadways. I've been driving, I had on 410.
Yeah.
Going the speed limit, which is 65. And I had people run across the freeway at night. And I'm slamming on my brakes and everything is flying from the back seat to the front seat. I don't know why that's done here in San Antonio, why somebody will cross freeways, but pedestrians do that. But if you just stopped, we probably wouldn't even be here. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, are you currently employed?
No, ma'am.
So how are you supporting yourself?
Well, fortunately, I have family members that help me out. Yeah, I know it don't sound good, but
Yeah, who are these family members? What are their relationships?
Grandma, my mom.
Grandmother and who else?
My mom.
Judge, we talked about it, seeking active employment.
How old is your grandmother? Retirement age?
Yeah, she's like in her almost 60, I think.
And how old is your mom?
Almost 50. I don't know the.
Mhm. So you've been having children.
She said she knows you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, she knows that you're about to get a lecture because a grandmother and a mom shouldn't be supporting a grown person.
Yeah.
And usually mothers have rules, and their rules are either you're going to get your education or you're getting employment. But you're living by the rule of not only am I not doing that, I'm gonna have children and you guys don't continue to support me. I guarantee you, your grandmother and your mom do not want to be supporting someone who can support themselves. It'll be different if there was some reason you can support yourself. But you basically live in what I call the soap opera lifestyle. You know what a soap opera lifestyle is? Have you ever watched a soap opera, All My Children or something?
No.
Well, let me just tell you what happens on soap opera. I don't care if the character works as a police officer, right? You never see them at their job. Nobody on soap operas works, but they're constantly living in mansions or whatever. So you're living a soap opera lifestyle off your parents, and that's gonna stop because I'm gonna require you to get employment. Unless there's a good reason why you don't have one, because you gotta eat, and your grandmother shouldn't be putting food on the table for you. And does your grandmother still work? Well, how is she supporting you?
Some security, you know, like,
Well, we're gonna put a stop to that. You give them a job. You understand? And you're gonna get full-time employment. All right, because you need to pay back this restitution. All right, the court is going to sentence you to 5 years in prison, probated and suspended for 5 years. There's restitution of $2,636.73 to Hannah Ebi, and hopefully I'm pronouncing her name correctly, and no contact with Hannah Ebi. If you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be? And know that you're getting drug tested before you leave this courtroom. All right. Have you ever used any drugs?
I mean, when I was younger, but I don't.
He's been getting drug tested through
Yeah,
pre-trial.
Okay, so there's not going to be a positive for marijuana or anything of that nature. All right, we're going to do proof of employment. Yes, 1 moment. Okay, we're going to do proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. And I'm gonna want full-time employment for you. That means 40 hours a week. So you can do 2 hour, you can do 2 part-time jobs that are 20/20 and knock your pride aside because you need to eat. So remember, if you're starting at McDonald's or wherever it may be, there's no harm in doing that because it's a legitimate job and you're trying to work your way up, okay? There's going to be regular reporting to probation. Oops. I'm going to want field visits 2 times per month. Who are you living with? All right, so you're in your 30s, but guess what? You're a child as long as you live with your grandmother. So she has rules for a curfew. And usually I know grandmothers want the TVs off by 10. Your TV gonna have to be off by 10 because you're living under her roof. You understand? And we'll do regular UAs. 120 hours of community service restitution. 40 of those hours will be waived if you provide proof of the COVID vaccination. That includes the booster. Court is not requiring you to get the vaccination, but if you do, 40 of those hours will be waived. I'm going to want parenting classes. And with successful completion of parenting classes, the remaining hours of community service restitution will be waived. Probation, is there anything else that he needs?
No, Your Honor. The restitution
Yes.
and the no contact.
Yes, I did that. Yes.
Okay.
All right. Is there anything else that you need from the court in order to be successful on this probation? All right. Do we need some kind of update on driving skills that you're supposed to stop when you cause an accident?
I think this is what we're gonna, I think this is time that message.
So all right. Because you need to let the 17-year-old know. All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you. Know better, do better. There's going to be an impact statement read. Please just internalize that statement. All right, statement. Yes.
This is from Hannah. I would like to apologize for choosing not to come and present myself. I have anxiety when it comes to speaking to strangers I do not know. I've had a tough time writing this because I really have nothing nice to say. I'm a military brat, so I do my best to follow what my father taught me. Mind over matter. And if I have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. I do not know where to start, but to say that the accident that I had to endure was a miserable hell for me, financially, physically, and a lot more mentally. My teeth are not mine. I had to get a bridge that my mom paid for. I had to get surgery on my left eye. I have a metal plate holding my eye in place. I had surgery on my right leg, ankle, pelvic, hip. I had a broken nose, stitches in my tongue, my lip, my nose, and of course my thigh. My ankle, had a bruised rib cage, and had another surgery in my eye. If I want to have a baby, I can't have it the natural way because I could die. I would have to do that surgically. I also still have a little bruising in my brain, but seems to look like that is fading away. So I'm not really supposed to stress. But what can you do? Nothing. My mother wanted me to send pictures for everyone to see so the person responsible could see the damage and feel bad. But I'm making the decision not to because I have doubts with the man who ran me over and left me for dead, and doubts that the justice system will even care what I have to say. I don't believe in holding someone accountable over their skin color. It disturbed me that when I had to be told no cursing or racial slurs. Well, I guess this country isn't free. I thought I had every right to speak my mind, and the fact that if I have a reason not to like you is because of a person's actions. Your actions is what matters to me. I am Hannah Lindsay Evie. I am an American born and raised in Omaha, Nebraska. I'm not from Texas. My family generation is a mix, so I'm a mutt. A quarter Mexican, a quarter German, and 50% Panamanian, as in the Panama Canal, not Florida. Since a lot of people failed history and geography, I do not care for the man or anyone's ethnicity. I see beauty differently than people. I would like to see the light, but all I see is dark clouds everywhere. I have been struggling mentally, so many things trigger me. My anxiety has gotten worse. This isn't my first accident. My first one was in Nebraska. I had fainted and I woke up in a hospital, and then gave me a diagnosis that I would never wish upon anyone, not even my own enemies. Same thing here. I do not remember talking to any officer when I got run over. I blacked out and woke up in the hospital. Same way. The first thing I said to my mom was, I can't move my leg. They gave me something in the IV, and I asked my mom more than twice, where is my dog? She put me back down slowly and said, he is okay, that he is outside waiting for me. Because I'm going back into surgery, I cannot describe to any of you how this accident has destroyed me. I lost so much hope, so much patience, so much faith. And the love my dog took that with him, which feels like yesterday. He left me here in this cruel world. Every day I have to picture my dog. Whenever I get angry or sad, I have to be strong. No one liked my dog. They all misjudged him because of his breed. The correct name is American Staffordshire Bull Terrier XL because he wasn't short, but people here call him a pit bull. If only people knew that name, what that name really means. So since people want to tell me not to be racist or cursed, I ask, do not judge me for not choosing to show myself in the same room with the man who ran me over and chose not to stop, and chose not to call and tell authorities himself what he did. Forgive me that I have doubts because nothing is no longer united. I feel disgusted, disrespected, lonely, grief, heartbroken, not important enough to anybody. I'm a broken woman. It is sad. I feel hopeless, whether I decided to have shown up or not, to look at the man who finally wants his freedom back when he could have found many ways when he arrived in jail a whole year and a half ago. It will almost be 2 years in a few months. Too soon to be sincerely sorry for what you did. I have doubts I no longer believe, still to this day. I pray and ask, why can't I just come home? I want to go home. I'm just so tired. Not me. Why not me? Because living in hell just sucks. I'm sorry, but as you can see, I'm hoping that whoever's reading this, that I have just a little pinch of hope that you all have understanding that my mental state is broken. Getting hurt all from humanity itself. So please, whoever is making the decision of his actions, know that I chose that this man could make a difference, and wake up, get a job, start paying back financially, because I haven't and probably won't be receiving my taxes for a while. You know, what's funny to me is that he is scared only because he wants to live. The difference is I'm not scared to die now, but for some reason I keep getting saved. So to the man who ran me over, I forgot your name. I'm not great with remembering things anymore, thanks to you, but I'm pretty sure my mother does. So give yourself that chance that you chose to wake up and choose carefully what you're going to do with your freedom. Because I only believe in one justice system, Mother Nature, but others call her karma. So if people can't get you to wake up, she certainly will. Good luck with the next step in your life.
All right, thank you very much for reading that. Just so everyone know, we're not on the record because this is victim impact. People of, I guess you say mixed race, I don't consider human beings mutts. So to me, a human being is a human being, a dog is a dog. And I think we all know we should treat each other with respect, and regardless of who you are. We don't speak in racist terms, homophobic terms, transphobic terms. My motto is treat everybody with respect. So, and I think because some of us are here in the United States from different places, and if we did ancestry.com, a lot of us have different races in us that we did not know. So everyone is a human being, no one's a mutt. So good luck to you. Make sure you follow through on what I'm telling you to do for probation. Most importantly, get a job. Nobody else should be supporting you. Understand?
Sure.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, who is here on Cameron Salazar?
I am, Your Honor.
All right, what is happening with Mr. Salazar?
Your Honor, we were supposed to be here on July 7th. I seem to have some problems getting a hold of him. I'm going to take responsibility for that. He is in the courtroom. I wanted to bring him in and would ask the court to withdraw the warrant. I've spoken with the state. They're willing to recommend him for pretrial diversion on this case. And so that's why I was asking.
All right, Mr. Salazar, come up. Cameron Salazar. State, do you have any objection to the warrant being recalled?
I'm not sure which case it is. I'm sorry.
Cameron Salazar, what I spoke to yesterday.
Oh, no objections.
All right, Mr. Salazar, how old are you?
17.
All right, is your mom here today or someone here with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, his sister?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so Mr. Salazar, here you are. I want you to know something. Even though you're 17 and people still think that's high school, which it is, this is felony court. And you need to make sure that you appear. So you're gonna have to make sure you keep up with your calendar and everything, because if you do not, what's gonna end up happening is you may discover yourself waking up at the Bexar County Jail and then being brought over in an orange uniform. The reason why they're not in orange uniforms right now is because they're scheduled for jury trials. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So would you like to be housed at the Bexar County Jail? They do provide meals.
No, ma'am.
All right, so do not be late for court, and you need to make sure you show up.
Yes, ma'am.
And your sister, how old is your sister?
20.
All right,
Or 22.
all right. So your sister, this is not the state of Texas versus her, that's the state of Texas versus you. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so what's gonna happen today is I'm gonna give you a reset form. You're gonna sign off on that. So you need to put that in a safe place. If you need to hand it to your sister, then you can hand it to your sister. You better hope you don't get in an argument with your sister and she don't decide to just put it in a dresser drawer. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so Ms. Ferguson, what date do we come back for PTD?
August 29th.
All right, so we're gonna be back on August 29th. Make sure before that date, council, that you all have signed whatever paperwork you need to sign.
We'll get that done.
All right, so she's gonna give you a reset form. What's that written on your arm? Is that a tattoo?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Norma, is he listed on the docket or no? Okay. Here, Carolyn. Who's here on David Rodriguez?
I am Judge.
All right, and where's David Rodriguez? Custody, state, no contact. All right, so what is happening with this case? Last time I was here, it says the complainant is in custody somewhere.
Yes, he's still in custody in St. Patricia County. As far as I'm aware, there's some additional discovery that I need to get the defense on this case, particularly some SAPD reports. I believe I requested them from my investigator before, I just haven't received them yet.
Okay.
As well as inquiring into some specific matters that the defendant made me aware of today. So I need to subpoena those records as well.
Okay. All right, Ms. Ferguson, on this case, give it a 45-day reset. I'm gonna expect all these discovery issues, whatever's happening with the complainant in another county to be taken care of. And then when we come back, state, you're gonna need to tender it off, and I'm gonna give you a plea deadline date, okay?
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna come back on September 6th.
September 8th.
All right, September 8th. So at the next setting, I'm gonna have that an offer needs to be tendered, okay?
Yes, Judge.
I hear some posts being clicked. So at the next setting, offer to be tendered. And then you'll get your plea deadline. All right, who's here on Anthony Cruz? That's Cornelius Cox. Oh, I see this has been agreed to.
Yeah, Judge. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I did. I just-
I always remember that
Yeah.
particular.
Yes, sure.
And my client was 10 minutes late, so I don't think he was marked present, but he's been here since about 9:10.
Okay, who's your client?
Julius Clayton.
All right, Julius Clayton, come up. Oh, I'm doing great. Why were you late?
I missed the first bus and I was only like 10 minutes late, but I don't know why I missed the bus. I was trying to catch an Uber and I had insufficient funds on my account, so I had to catch the bus, but I would have made it here on time.
All right, you need to make plans.
It won't happen again.
All right, we'll see you back at 1:30.
All right, thank you, Judge.
All right, who's Charles Jones? Come forward, please, Mr. Jones. All right, Mr. Jones, we're going to bring you back on August 8th. Your attorney is out ill, okay? Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form. Thank you. James Stegmeyer.
Oh,
Good morning, Judge.
Mike said he stepped on first.
Oh, sorry. Oh, Mike stepped
Yeah,
in.
he said he'll be right.
All right, just give us a moment.
Oh, I was just gonna update you on our conference.
Oh, sure. What's the update?
I've learned some new stuff that I need to do some research on. This, my client's wife was gonna help me. We've been conferring back and forth. My client, just for the court's edification, I'd filed a motion to have him evaluated for competency a long time ago. He has been found to be competent twice, actually, even though the VA still considers him to have dementia because due to Parkinson's. I know. And so I've provided Dr. Scott with additional records and stuff. He said that because he's currently stable right now, my client being currently stable, that he doesn't exhibit anything that enough to allow him to declare him incompetent. But obviously, there's still some issues going on with that, not to mention some factual issues that I need to look into that I learned this morning. So I would just ask if we could reset it one more time.
Okay, so do you have all the discovery?
I do, Judge, yes.
Do you know if this is going to involve any out-of-state witnesses?
It shouldn't involve out of state, no. Uh-uh.
So when do you anticipate getting the information?
I mean, I should have everything within the next few weeks, so.
And then you're going to turn that over to Dr. Scott?
No, this is actually different. The information that I've learned this morning is more factual in terms of me defending him, not with regard to his mental health. Now, Dr. Scott mentioned in his second report, and I kind of am keeping that in my coat pocket, that if something changes, to file another motion. Right now, I'm not seeing anything that has changed from my perspective in terms of competency, but if it does, I may file another motion.
Okay. Because I'm concerned about this case, as this case is old, but I see in June, we were waiting the competency evaluation. That took a
Right.
while.
This has really been the first time I've been able to confer with Michael on it, so, or any prosecutor.
All right, so, and of course, if you don't want to tell the court, I understand, but is there some sort of, I know there's the dementia, but with regards to Dr. Scott's examination, was there the result of that some sort of medications that your client?
He is on several medications, although when he went into the jail, he was taking approximately 60 medications a day. He's down to about 8. So they have
6-0?
6-0.
Oh my God.
Yes. So he is down to approximately 8. He seems stable, in my opinion. I'm not noticing anything that causes me to have severe concern, other than the fact that VA doctors for the last 20 years have found him to have dementia. His wife has full power of attorney over him and has for many, many years. So it's a very strange situation. Obviously, I need to protect my client. I need to protect myself, and just make sure that everything is done right.
All right, where is the state?
Oh, Michael had stepped out. I'm sorry.
For a
Judge.
minute.
Okay.
You may think he's just in the hall.
Yes,
Tell me, you need
please.
to step in?
Oh, there's Michelle.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay, so in this case, this is, I mean, just something that the court is thinking of. If he is under guardianship, I mean, where's this case really going?
So, Judge, he has been evaluated for competency, and he's been found competent to stand trial. We've made an offer at this point. This is not, in all candor to the court, and I told defense this is not a case, despite his medical conditions, that is going to be dismissed, and I've taken that into account. And I think we are potentially in the realm of resolving it, but I think there just needs to be continued work from both sides in reaching a proper. Is that?
I mean, I'm always optimistic. So yeah, I think there's a possibility of it being resolved.
Oh, okay, so well, since this is the first time you've been able to communicate successfully with your client, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you all a 45-day reset.
Okay.
And that's gonna be your plea deadline date. So you all will have to do whatever you do off docket.
Sure.
And then at that time, Mr. Stegmeyer, you're gonna have to let the court know whether or not you're accepting the state's plea offer or not. And then we'll put you quickly to a jury trial. And actually, Ms. Ferguson, can you give me a 45-day reset that's a plea deadline date plus jury trial date, somewhere in that realm? Because I don't want your client to be compensated.
No, I appreciate it.
September 12th. All right, so September 12th is going to be your jury trial date and your plea deadline date, Mr. Stegmeyer. Do you have any questions? All right.
Thank you, Judge. May we be excused?
Oh, she's going to give you a reset
Oh,
form.
okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. Who's here on Philip Mosier?
That's my case.
Moser?
Just, I was just checking to see if you want me back at 1:30.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
I'm apparently number 2 for trial in county court 1. I let them know that you have me on call and she can call and talk.
Yes, okay, thank you. All right, and Joseph Burrow. Yes, come forward, please. Come forward. All right, your case is being reset for August 16th. Your attorney's not here today, okay? I'm sorry, what did you say? Are you able to speak up? Oh, I'm sorry, what?
He said
I said, okay.
Oh, okay, all right, thank you. Everybody's whispering,
They
is
are
it just
today,
me?
yeah.
All right, so we're gonna bring you back on August 16th.
Judge, I had one other case on the docket, Jason Brown. Do you want us back on?
Yes. Oh, this is 1:30. Yes, I did. Thanks. You're welcome. All right, can I see the state on Steve Terrasses?
Motion to run a
Oh, he wanted to get back on that.
I brought it to the
All right, so what is the defendant charged with? Oh, there's a lot.
Oh, sorry. ASA.
So, and who is this child that he wants to be around?
This kid brother. He wants to live with his parents.
Okay, this says, and he has not had contact with any minor, including his child.
Yeah, we weren't agreeing to him having contact with his child and no unsupervised contact with the brother.
So I did not addressing his own child thing, only addressing his living arrangement, which is to live with Crystal Arredondo and Steve Terrasses Sr., his parents, and his little brother Enrique Terrasses, and no unsupervised his little brother. So the way the living arrangement there will be is there's like a guest house that's outside of the main house. He will be living in the guest house outside of the main house, not in the main house with his parents and his little brother.
All right, and state you have no objections to him having supervised contact with his brother?
We're fine with that and him living in the guest house and not in the main house.
Okay.
But no other minor children. We're only addressing the issue with his brother.
Okay, so this order doesn't say that he's living in a guest house.
Can I put that underneath here?
Yes.
Guest house only. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
I have set that motion for next Monday, but I guess they come in early.
Okay.
Okay.
Michelle, I have set that motion for next Monday. I'll put it on. Okay.
Okay. I can go here.
All right, Norma, on this non-suit. This is for one of those civil commitments. No, I mean, this is what I'm in receipt of. And can you see if the defense attorney is aware of the state's request for non-suit? And if they have any objections to the non-suit? Yeah, the defense counsel on that. Thank you. Hey, how you doing? Okay. Mhm. Okay, I'm gonna put that on the list.
I have a motion. As long as you don't object, I'll just give you this.
Okay. Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah. Mhm. Okay, I'm gonna call him right now and tell him on, okay? All right, okay. All right, okay. Hey, hi, Lisa. Hey, how's it going? All right, so I'm gonna send you a text message of what mine is, okay? All right, and I'll call you and see if you got my text, okay? Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.
Marcus.
Hey, did it come through? All right, so get those variety of soups, the popsicles and the Pedialyte and those flavors. All right, so let me know if you have a problem finding it, okay? All right, thank you. Okay, bye-bye. Okay, and I forgot the other thing. See if they have a humidifier, because that may be best. That may be good for her. I'm not sure. All right, thanks. Bye-bye. All right, who's here on Christopher Washington? All right. All right, and Christopher Washington, if you can come up, please. Court is calling 2021 CR 10997B, State of Texas versus Christopher Washington. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Marcus Sanders.
For the defense?
Alfonso Otero on behalf of Mr. Washington.
And are you Mr. Washington?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Judge.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Washington, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on an indictment as presented?
No, Judge, we're waiving the enhancement paragraph.
Any objection?
No, Judge.
Mr. Washington, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it at all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of robbery? That's a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes.
And did you intend to give up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Judge.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does, Judge.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Washington, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea? Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 2 years in the prison. There are no applications. The state will take in consideration 2022 CR 126. Is this 7? 2. There's to be no contact with Arcel, ARSIL, HAG, HAG.
HAQ.
HAQ. All right, Brenda, I'm not the only person whose writing skills have gone awry since my A in handwriting. So did you understand that to be the plea bargaining agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense is at the plea bargaining agreement.
Yes, Judge.
State is at the plea bargaining agreement.
Yes, Judge.
Marcus, I'm sorry, I can't give you an A in handwriting. I wouldn't get anyone any A in handwriting now either. All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled waiver appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Judge.
Then to the offenses charged in the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence.
Yes, the state offer states Exhibit 1 and its attachments.
No objection, Judge.
Mr. Washington, I'm going to show you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statement, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments. The court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Judge.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, Judge, just to follow the plea bargain.
All right, Mr. Washington, anything you wish to say?
Yes, ma'am. I was on drugs. I was shooting up meth, and since I've been incarcerated, I've been able to get out the fog, and I'm clean now, and my whole outline of life is changed. I have kids that I'm going to be able to get back in my custody once I get out.
All right, you have children, because kids are Billy Goats.
Yes, ma'am, I have children. I have
Okay.
6 beautiful children, whom I love with all my heart. And, I'm not going to make excuses. I was wrong.
When were these children born?
I have 6 kids. So Aries and Sky, they are 11. Michelle is 8.
What are their birthdays?
Michelle's is March 3rd. I can't remember the birthdays. I'll be honest with you. I haven't had them in my custody for 5 years. My dad, they were taken from me by CPS because my drug
Because you were
habit.
not doing what you were supposed to do.
Yes, ma'am. I was being a piece of
So, and did you have any children that were born in 2007?
2007. No, 2007.
Mhm. Any children born in 2011?
No.
Because do the math, because we're in 22. So if they were born in 2011, so do you have a child who's older than 11? Or at least 11 years old?
No, I have 2 that are 11.
So somebody else is taking care of your children.
Yes.
And here's the thing, people will come before me and they say, well, I'm gonna get custody of my children back. It sounds like Child Protective Services gave custody of your children to someone else. If you don't have your life in order, and if your father is the one who has custody of your children, or their grandfather or grandmother, and you come knocking on the door trying to get your children back, what's going to end up happening is Child Protective Services is going to get involved again. I don't know if your rights are terminated or not, but before you go knocking on the doorstep trying to claim children that you have not been taken care of, you need to make sure you have your life in order. And I'm looking at this indictment. I know the state waived the enhancement paragraph, but you haven't been living a good life. It appears to me that what you've been doing is having children and someone else has been taking care of them. So I'm going to follow your agreement, sentence you to 2 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served, taking consideration 2022 CR 1262, and there's to be no contact with RCL has. Is there anything else from either side with regards to sentencing?
Just a dismissal, Judge. Thank you.
I'm going to show you what's entitled trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
All right, because this is plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a question about what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. So here's the thing, you've got to get your life together. You have 6 children, you're not taking care of any of them. Your father is, and I'm sure your father just want to be a grandfather, don't want to be a parent, but you made him a parent because you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. So here's my advice to you. If you don't currently have any children on the way, you shouldn't be trying to have more children right now until you get your life in order, because your life is chaos. How old are you?
37.
All right, you're 37. You're fast approaching the point where more of your life is going to be behind you, in front of you. And you're making it worse because you're using drugs and everything else that you're involved in based upon your tattoo itch. So while you're at the prison, and I don't know, you may be released from the Bragg County Jail, but while you're there, you need to internalize where your life has gone wrong. And you need to accept the fact that you haven't been a good parent to your children and that you're going to try to do better for them. And when you get out, the first place you need to go to is not knocking on your children's door where they live with your father. The first place you need to go to is some sort of rehab. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you,
Thank
Judge.
you.
Maybe excuse.
Yes.
Thank you.
Who's here on Darren Doe's? Darren Doe's.
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Hello, how are you doing?
Doing very well. I've been conferring with the state on Mr. Doe's. He's a case, we had a bond hearing on him.
Yes.
And he was denied bond, but we've agreed to at least a bond amount, which is $325,000. We're not in agreement with house arrest or partial house arrest. Of course, I would like for him to be able to work and pay for some of his fees and whatnot, but if the court will at least set a bond so we can get him out. He has trial set in August. It's like a second setting, so I'm not sure.
Okay, the parties approach. And could you repeat this? All right, who's on Matthew Snow? Matthew Snow. Michael Hinojosa?
That's me, Judge.
Yes. And where's Michael Hinojosa? Is he on the docket today?
Sitting back there.
All right, Mr. Hinojosa, come on down. All right, what is happening with Mr. Hinojosa?
There've been some negotiations, little movement. The case is Ryan's case, and he's been kind of calling the shots. I do have authority to make a counter offer to what they've been proposing.
All right, and which page is Mr. Hinojosa on?
He's on the left page. Starting on page 8.
Yeah, on page 8. All right, this is set for jury trial. Is that correct? Ms. Ferguson?
Kind of, sort of, yes, no. It's the murder case is driving the boat on all of it.
Okay, so
And,
what is happening
I don't
with
think the parties anticipated the murder case going to trial without the lead prosecutor.
All right, so what is happening with the murder case? And who's the prosecutor? on the
Again,
murder case?
Mr. Groomer made an offer. We have a counter offer. He's kind of gonna have to review it. I'd ask the court to pass the case.
So has the counter offer been tendered to the state?
To the state, but I think it's Mr. Groomer's case and it's sort of his call.
And Ryan is out right now, Judge.
Okay. All right.
But most important part, I left it out, Norma. Ryan's not here, Judge.
All right, somebody call Ryan on the phone right now.
We tried that with you last week.
Hey, I was available. People were getting in touch with me by phone. Do you have all the discovery on this case? I do have
Yes,
all the
ma'am.
discovery
We've
received.
Tendered the discovery document.
All right, Norma, on Mr. Hinojosa, give me a 30-day reset. That's going to be your plea deadline date. The counter offers or whatever, if the state wants to accept the counter offer, but that's going to be your plea deadline date.
Yes, ma'am.
August 29th.
That's fine.
All right, August 29th is your plea deadline date, and Mr. Hinojosa, depending, if you don't accept that offer, of course, we're gonna try to get you a jury trial as quickly as possible, okay? Is that your?
Can we sit back in the box, Judge?
Yes, Ms. Ferguson, can you make sure they get a reset form? Matthew Snow.
Good morning, good morning, Judge.
Good morning, where's Mr. Snow?
He's in the jury box.
Mr. Snow, come on up.
Welcome back from your trip.
Oh, thank you. I had a beautiful time.
Yeah, you were in Barcelona, which is.
Yes, I love that. But still, my favorite place is France.
Yeah, my daughter is hoping to go to Barcelona second semester. That's her plan for school.
Oh, that is awesome.
So hopefully I'll be able to go there as well.
Oh, yeah. To me, everyone should go at least once. I'd never been to Spain before, so.
Oh,
I
you
enjoyed it.
hadn't? I love Spain.
Yeah.
I'm surprised France is your favorite place because if you go south of Barcelona, down that coast, down the Costa del Sol, man, that is just the most beautiful region.
It was hot, but you know what? The French Riviera, the water was great. It just feel the breeze. I just loved it. And you know, I always love being near water because that means the seafood is going to be great. So as you go inland, I'm like, can I get some seafood?
My wife and I went to Barcelona back in 2014.
Oh, wow.
Barcelona, Madrid. I love Barcelona though.
And we even did wine tasting, which was hilarious because I don't drink.
Yeah.
People were just like, could you pass that to us? I'm like, and you know, I did the thing, Brenda, where you pretend like you're taking a drink. I just like, oh yeah. Can I get a Coke with some ice? All right, so what is happening with Mr. Snow?
Well, a little bit on this case, Judge, Mr. Salinas is new to it, so we actually have conferred and exchanged a little more evidence today. So, but as a secondary thing, they filed an at-large misdemeanor.
All right, let's focus on this and then we'll get to the at-large thing. So what I have on my docketing sheet is that it was set for January 18th, then recalled on February 22nd. And then the state was to make an offer on March 31st. and discovery was tendered, and then an offer was tendered, and then I set the plea deadline date for April 20th. And then the defense counsel, you were out the week of April 20th. And then, so we were supposed to be scheduled for a jury trial on May 31st. So where are we with this case as far as, is this going to jury trial? What's going on here?
As of right now, yes, sir.
Okay, so.
Ms. Wendland has pointed out some issues that she wants me to look at within the discovery, but as of right now, the state's position is that we would proceed to trial.
All right, so before anybody leaves here today, I want an acknowledgement of discovery, and that needs to be signed and filed with the court. And then, Norma, which page is Mr. Snow on?
He's on page 9.
All right. So, Ms. Ferguson, on this case, can I get a plea deadline date and jury trial date? Because you're saying that Ms. Whitman has given you something new or something?
Yes.
All right, so I'm gonna give you a date. That's gonna be your plea deadline date and jury trial date. You understand?
That's perfect, Judge.
Okay.
And yes, she's pointed out things in the discovery, and she, according to her, is going to give me some medical records from Mr. Snow.
Okay.
And I saw a photo of him from that evening.
Oh, people need to put some patience in their pockets. Okay, what is she trying to say, Brenda, now?
She needs a vacation.
And you know, sometimes.
The judge didn't take you to personal, huh?
Yeah. She didn't ask to come.
Well, I want to have Richard's way. Is what I want.
No, and you know, nobody asked to come.
We didn't know we could.
Yeah. We could have just shut it down. Now, mind you, we would have been stranded for 2 days in Florence, but you know.
But that's not a bad place to be stranded, Judge.
No, it isn't. But you know what? When you're expecting to go home on a specific date and you're not, that's sort of like, especially when you had to be at the airport at 4 a.m. And then you stood in line till 5:30. Then you get to the counter and they say, "Oh, we've rebooked you to, you know, the 19th, and we're going to take you on a bus to Bologna." And I was like, "No, I'll be staying in Florence."
And what airline were you on?
Oh, it's what is it, Lufthansa or something?
Lufthansa.
Yes.
Lufthansa, that's German. That's a good airline.
Yes.
It's connected to you know.
All right, August 30th is going to be your jury trial date and your plea deadline date. Well, and I will say, this is the first time I had issues with that airline. And I know it was because in Barcelona, which I didn't realize in Spain, sometimes when they strike, they'll strike and they only strike for like 2 hours and they just pick their day. And so they picked Sunday because a lot of people were leaving and they picked my time slot. If I would have got a later flight, it would have been okay. And they didn't book us on the next flight. They're just like 2 days.
They do that, you know, they do that in stuff like in Germany a lot. Like
Yeah.
they just are like, okay, we're on strike. And like, you're like, no buses today. And it'll be like, but buses will be going tomorrow. Just no buses today. No buses, no trains.
Yeah. All right. So here's the other issue. The other issue is the county court 8 matter.
So just to tell you what's going on with that, Judge, and I'm asking your deputy to hopefully be generous and just hold him a little bit through lunch. We have talked to, Judge Roman is out in county court 8, but we have talked in conjunction to Judge Longoria, who has agreed to set the bond. We're going to have an agreement for the bond to be set, and then he will need to be magged down at Satellite, and we're hoping that he'll be able to just get out at Satellite with a low bond amount. So that's my thing is, I'm just hoping that the deputies and the sheriff's department can be a little generous, and then maybe we don't have to ship. You will.
Okay.
Who's gonna feed us?
All right. So that's not under my jurisdiction.
But that's what that is. It's a case that's actually connected to, it's from the same offense date as the case in here.
Okay.
It was just filed at large a couple weeks ago.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. Ivan Panzadari.
Your Honor, I'm here on that case. It's a From the 227th, I was told you were.
Yes, what is
Residing-
happening with this?
Just kid wants to move to Irving. And so right now he's strictly leaving Bear County. He's going to be moving to live in Irving, Texas with his family. I spoke with Marcus about it. Marcus says he doesn't have any heartburn about it.
All right, is he on probation or? no?
He's on bond.
On bond.
Pretrial services does that. They make you stay in Bear County. For whatever reason. It's unindicted as well. Thank you, Judge. You have a nice day.
All right, thank you.
Have a
You
nice
too.
week.
Javier Medina. What is going on with Mr. Medina? Mr. Medina, come forward.
Good morning, Ron.
Good morning. So, all right, so what's happening with Mr. Medina?
Okay, this is the first setting on Mr. Medina's case. I need to spend some time looking at the body on camera. And more because he,
Did you have a chance to confer with the state?
yes,
All right. So Ms. Ferguson, can we give a 30-day reset? State on Javier Medina, did you make an offer?
Yes, Judge.
Okay.
he did.
You're gonna get yours. All right, August 22nd is going to be your plea deadline date, Mr. Medina. So at that time, you need to let the court know whether or not you're accepting the state's offer or not, okay? Do you understand, Mr. Medina? You're looking very confused.
Offer.
Oh, so what ends up, will you discuss with him what that means?
I will.
All right, thank you.
That's all. It's on today's docket.
All right, could I see the following, David Rosas, please?
He's showing as a fugitive, just FYI. He's in federal custody.
Ah, that's the
So,
one.
So we can't bring him up. Just-
Okay, all right, the state is dismissing this. All right, who's here on Joseph Ramirez?
That's me, Judge.
What is happening with this case, and where's Joseph Ramirez?
He's in custody, Judge. He was taken into custody. He was on your docket when you were out, Judge,
Uh-huh.
and he got taken into custody because he was late for court. And he's been in jail since. And so my request is, would you consider reinstating his bond? I'm on his bond.
All right, so is he on the docket today?
No, he's not, Judge. I mean, if you come back, so I could ask you that question.
Okay, so we'll come
But he's
back.
not on the docket. He's on the docket solely for me to ask you the question I'm asking you today.
All right, let's have him brought over tomorrow. All right, so we'll bring him over tomorrow.
Okay, Judge.
Okay, then that's done. That's dismissed. All right, the court is taking its break at 12 o'clock. Who was here on Julian Martinez?
Judge, it's me.
Yes, what is that? Where is Mr. Martinez?
He's in custody, Judge.
All right, come on up. All right, what is happening with this case?
Judge, Mr. Martinez has several different charges. Information is still, reports are still coming in. I have been working with the state to try to get enough information to get an offer together, but we're simply just not there yet.
All right, who's the prosecutor?
Whitney?
Hi. Hi, so where are we on Mr. Martinez? I do see there are like several charges.
Several cases, Judge. The felonies that were just indicted last week, we just received the entire discovery packet. Actually, either on Monday or the Friday prior. So we're just asking for a little bit of time to review everything. That way we can do some kind of package offer.
All right. So Ms. Ferguson, will you give me a 45-day reset? Is that enough time for both sides?
That's plenty, Judge, and I've been in contact with Lewis, so if we've worked it out before.
And Judge, if we can get everything together in the next couple of weeks, we want to work out the next couple of weeks. So,
Okay, so do you want a 2-week reset then, or?
do we get maybe the week of the 15th, Judge?
All right, the week of the 15th.
I'm sorry, week of the 8th of August, if we could do that.
All right, Norma, can I have a setting date for week of the 8th?
Let's do the 9th. Let's do the 9th. Yeah.
All right, so August 9th, unless there's something else that pops up with the discovery, that will be your plea deadline date then, okay?
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Okay, what is your t-shirt? Is that cookies? What is that? Oh, it's a brand. All right, never heard of it. Robert Hintnet. Who's the attorney for Robert Hintnet?
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. What is happening with Mr. Hintnet?
Your Honor, I conferred with the state. We don't have an agreement. At our last setting, I had filed a motion basically seeking funds for independent lab testing. Now, there wasn't a ruling on that motion. I was under the impression that we were going to resolve this by way of a plea. That has not happened. My client does wish to have that blood tested and proceed to trial.
All right, so of course, everyone knows when I receive motions, I will sign them if they're presented to me. So
I understand, Your Honor. And again, the reason it wasn't presented is because I thought we were resolving it by way of a plea.
Okay.
And I apologize.
That's okay. So what are you asking for with regards to funds?
$1,700.
So what?
$1,700.
I thought you said 7,800. I mean, I would have signed it, but
Oh, okay.
I
Well, in
was
that
like,
case.
didn't it sound like he was saying 7,800? And I was like, okay. All right, if you want to make sure that they get this in the back or you get a copy of it.
Yes, Judge.
And do you have someone already scheduled for that?
I do have a company. Yes.
Did they give you any deadline?
I don't know the exact timeline right now. So I was hoping for 60 days. Or sometime in 2023, Your Honor.
Norma, can I have a 30-day reset, please, on Mr. Hintnet? And we're going to see where we are with that.
Yes, sir.
I can do August 22nd.
All right, August 22nd.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll just make sure you get a reset form.
Yes.
Yeah. Julian Martinez. Julian Martinez.
You already,
You did that one.
Okay, I don't know why I have the file back.
That's 8 months.
Okay. John Juarez. And this is going to be the last case, and then the court is taking its break.
We have an agreement on that. We just worked out.
Yeah.
It's finished there.
All right, court is calling 2022 CR 0422, State of Texas versus John Michael Juarez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Daniel on support.
for the defense?
Carl Basler.
And are you Mr. Juarez?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes, sir.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Juarez, I'm showing you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Next, I'm showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Juarez, I'm going to show you what's entitled court admonishments and defendants waivers and affidavit or admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand you're charged with aggravated robbery? That's the first degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 5 to 99 years or life in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could sentence you up to life in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor. I
Do you
did have
believe-
him during the pendency of the case. He was psyched and we had a hearing in Judge Carter's court and was found to be competent.
All right. And do you believe he was sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Juarez, has anyone threatened you, forced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No,
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement?
no,
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 5 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. The state opposes your application for deferred adjudication. They will take in consideration County Court Cause number 672235. And there's to be no contact with Maria Balderas Calderon. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense is at the plea bargain agreement.
Yes, Your Honor.
State is at the plea bargain agreement.
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the agreement, they're asking that you have no contact with the complainant. You understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations.
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offense is charged in indictment. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence.
Yes, Your Honor. States Exhibit 1 and all its attachments.
Any objections?
No objections, Your Honor.
Mr. Juarez, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, the court will defer finding of guilt as you applied for deferred adjudication. Is there a request for a TAP evaluation?
Yes, I would probably get idea, Your Honor.
All right.
And if we could have him check, see if he could go into the McMaya, because he was, we did have a psychological done.
All right, your sentencing will be set on September 6th at 9 a.m.
Your Honor,
I'm sorry,
be-
is it,
I'll be out of town that week. My son's getting married till Labor Day, so I'll be gone that week.
does your son want you at his wedding or do they just want, usually they just want the parents to pay?
We're supposed to be there.
All right, are you best man or?
No, it's my son's. That's why.
Oh, okay. All right, awesome.
He's getting married in El Paso, so we'll be there for a week.
Okay, Ms. Ferguson?
Oh, sure, but we'll do it just the next Tuesday. the
Okay.
13th.
All right, so we're gonna do it September 13th. We will accommodate your wedding. I won't have you going there saying, I would have been there for your most important day, but the judge wouldn't let me. All right, so we're gonna come back on September 13th.
Is that for PSI and TAP or just TAP?
I'm gonna want a TAP evaluation and a McMiles evaluation. And are there gonna be any witnesses?
Yes, Your Honor. The state is going to call the planning witness for a victim impact statement.
All right, but are you gonna call them for testimony?
Not sure, Judge.
All right, so possibly one witness. Do you have any witnesses?
I may have one witness. Sure.
Right, and the reason why I'm asking, if you guys are sure it's only gonna be 2 witnesses, then I'll set it in the morning. But if it's gonna end up being more than that, we'll set it in the afternoon. That's why I asked.
I only know of one right now. I mean, other than my client, other than my client.
All right, so it'll be at 9 a.m. If there are gonna be more witnesses than the 3 witnesses, and are there gonna be long witnesses?
I don't anticipate the complainant
All right,
to my
so we'll do it at 9 a.m. If it turns out that you have more witnesses than that, please let Ms. Ferguson know, and it will be on the same date. It'll just be set in the afternoon. All right, thank you. Probation, if you need anything from him.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. So everyone, we're going to take our recess. We're going to be back at 1:30 p.m. for jury trial. So